I'm Corey Putnam, Quick Attach. This is my personal 74-inch Eagle Talon, which is a absolute beast. This is the third grapple I've owned, but I wanted to show you some things of, if you invest in equipment, doesn't matter the company, you absolutely want to know where every dollar is being spent and where it's going to, right? So I want to show you some details on here where you can see why you're paying a heavy price, because it should hurt on the wallet, so that you get out there, you use it, and it shows up day in and day out like your best employee that works for you. You invest in a cheap employee, what do you get? This is no different. Come on in here just so you can see. Here's one of the huge things on grapples. You find these, oh, it looks like a beast of a grapple on the internet, right? Look at the size of the ram here. This is the number one indicator whether you're getting a cheap grapple, like, oh, we're gonna look like we build a really heavy duty one, but we're gonna put cheap cylinders that are very small, that have, like, these put out over 2 tons of squeeze force on the cylinders. This is a 3-inch bore with an 1.5-inch rod. We've been using this big of a cylinder since probably 2012, because today's machines didn't get smaller. They only got bigger. Their line pressures went up. You know, some machines are 4,100 on the pressure. If we take a 2-inch cylinder bore and they're using a 1-inch, 1.8 inch, 1.25 rod, several things. You're not going to have the squeeze force to hold the load. And number 2, you're going to risk bending your cylinder rods. Okay. The other thing with grapples, hoses are always the number one thing. Let's just talk an ounce of prevention, pound of cure. Get in here where you can see, you got the screening, the steel screening there, so you can see where your tines are. But we also want to make sure that we're protecting our hydraulic hoses. This is huge. There's nothing more expensive than popping a hose, having downtime on a job site, because let's face it, you and I both know when equipment goes down on a job, it's affecting 3 to 15 people on a job site. So it's super expensive. Then you go get a new hose cut. You got to add more hydraulic fluid because you had the engine RPM high. When you busted the line, you send 2 gallons of hydraulic fluid all over. Some companies here too with the cylinders, you can see this is all steel plating protecting them, right? You'll see companies that will put, just say their cylinders in here, and this is all open. Okay, when you're pushing brush, you have trees and branches going every which way. You're only prone to breaking your hydraulic hoses. People never think about this until they buy the grapple. They actually get out there, they start working with it, and know, Houston, I have a problem, right? You bust a hose. That is one heck of a frustrating day, because most people don't have the parts and the hoses there to do the work, so you're up and running right away. But let's just solve it with a well thought out, good engineered product. So this acts as a nice step here. You can just see, like, look at how robust from the mount plate forward to the subframe to the actual grapple is. This thing is a tank. We did a redesign on this. This is my second Eagle Talon I've owned. I like this one better for a couple reasons. The tines they're not real long here, right? And you can see, yeah, there's gusseting. I think it's 1.5 inch thick down here where the actual tine is with all the steel tying in. It's wide. I might be off of, just so you know, it might be off a 1/4 inch or whatever. These are tiger teeth. They're more narrow. You know, some of the teeth out there are this wide, and this is a huge advantage, and I'll share with you why. Part of the reason I don't like the tines way the heck out here, when you're root raking, and just say my fingers are the tines, and you're trying to skim, or let's say you are trying to rip roots, when you dive them into the soil, it's only going to pull them down deeper, literally bogging your machine down in 2 seconds flat. So the shorter tines with the tiger teeth that aren't as wide, when I dig them in, I can drive forward like a tractor pulling a plow. You still have to use a little bit of finesse, but it will absolutely rip roots because it's more narrow. It's going to allow you to get more horsepower, you know, pushing like a dozer blade, for example, ripping roots. But these are all reinforced right to, this is steel square tubing. I believe that's 3x3. It's either 3x3 or 3x4. Same thing up here. Same thing here with the steel square tubing. But this is kind of the unique setup where it's one grapple top. And I love that, and you're gonna see it when we do back raking where we're raking branches, sticks quickly into a pile, or if you're leveling a driveway, doing a food plot, you can level and shape dirt with this grapple, phenomenal. But the one thing that is kind of nice is I can unbolt this piece, come in here where you can actually see from the back side. We can take this whole section right out here. So this is tying this whole grapple top together, right? If we unbolt this piece, now we can use the grapple where, just say I have a stump on this side, it closes on the stump, there's no stump on my left side, this grapple top's gonna close a lot farther where it has equal pressure. So I get the best of both worlds with this grapple. That pretty much wraps it up. But this is on a 74-inch with the bolt-in, center part here, because you want to make sure for back raking, if you don't have it in here, you're missing that middle. But you're going to come in at a weight of, I think it's around 1,400 pounds, 1,500 on a 86-inch. This is a 74, but this is a beast. We'll get after it.